Okay, so welcome to the first ever Smash of the Day. I've got Graham Candlish here with me, coach of
Hello.
the Armata Romanesca. Did I say that right, Graham?
Yeah, you did.
What does that actually mean, the Romanian
The
army?
Romanian army.
I
Yeah.
thought I thought it was either army or armada. All right, so let's take a look at some teams in Season 2, Division A. So Jurassic Junglers. Now
Yeah.
this is Matt Goodall's team. Matt Goodall's brand new to Blood Bowl. He has actually named all his players, but you wouldn't know it because they're borderline illegible. I, that skink called Dodger, I get that, and Headwhacker, I can sort of get that, and he's got one called Carnivore as well. So he's put
He's
some
got
effort in.
Warpath. He's got Runner.
Yeah, he's got to best. So, well, I mean, there's not really much to say about this team, is there? He's got 11 players. He's got a Croxagore, some Sauruses, and some Skinks.
The thing you'd question is, do you go Croxagore early on, especially as a new player with Bonehead, Loner, 2 rerolls base, on a team, especially Lizards, a solid team, but their lack of versatility, if you get caught out positionally, you can struggle to recover because they'll just hold your Saurus in place with chaff, punish your Skinks, then you can't pick up a ball. You come up against anything that's developed any sort of tackle, and your shenanigans are out the window. But if you can control the tempo, 7 strength 4 or higher players combined with stunty dodge to get the assists where you wouldn't normally get them from can be horrific to stop.
I think, given his lack of experience, though, he's going to struggle with the positioning game, which is what he's going to have to play in it. Really,
it's a tough one.
I think he's going to struggle. But I hope you prove us wrong, Matt. Right, let's move on to this garbage dumpster fire
The other
team.
thing I point out there, before we go on,
Sorry.
is look at the rest of the teams in his division. He is by far the strongest. So he doesn't have to worry about other teams outbashing him, bar maybe the Nurgle.
But I think a lot of these guys are going to run rings around him. Even the Necros.
Well, the Necros have got some pace.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hope he does well, but I genuinely think he's going to probably get his ass handed to him while he learns the game.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to Armata Romanesca. Well, obviously you can't be objective about this. Sorry, you can't be subjective about this. But
well,
do you fancy your chances?
Terrible.
You have named your players, which is good.
I've named the players. I've got I'd say the standard loadout of 4 rerolls, 4 vamps. I was considering going 12-man roster, 3 vamps, which is more reliable because you don't have 4 bloodlusts to turn. But the team as a team, until they develop, are terrible. But if they survive and those vampires start getting pro, dodge, block, tackle, they become absolute monsters.
Well, in a minute we're going to have a look at who your first opponent is, and that might colour your opinion on how well you'll be able to do over the course of the season. Because if you get some early SPP, you can start getting quite strong, especially on those vamps.
Yeah. Even the Thralls are still not that bad.
Yeah, well, they're standard, aren't they? 6 movement, 3 strength, 7 armor.
Yeah, they're cheap as well.
True. Yeah. Right. Let's take a look at Slimy Helmets. Now, this is Kenny's team. He came 5th last season, narrowly missed out on a playoff spot. And this is, by the way, just to point this out, this is, in my opinion, probably the most difficult group because it's got you, who won last season. It's got Kenny, who's a strong player. It's got Dave Bowden, who got to the final last season. Yes. It's got Josh, who's a good Skaven coach. So I think that's going to be a hard league to come through.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Anyway, these Slimy Helmets, which in my opinion is probably the most phallic named team in the league.
Yeah, it's got to be up there. See what I did there?
Yeah. Okay, so what have we got? 2 rerolls. He's got the Beast of Nurgle.
Starting with the Beasts of Brave choice, but it does allow you, especially in the shorter seasons, because if you get him stand firm, he becomes an absolute nightmare because of tentacles. He's got a Skaven coach in there. The lizard men will suffer because all he has to do is put him in the right place and never use him. And he causes more headaches just because of strength 5 tentacles.
Yeah, absolute nightmare for dodgers as well.
And 5 disturbing presences means Skaven have to be careful. I have to be careful if I try to throw it with vampires. Goblins, if they try to do their patented goblin throw, will be fumbling on anything other than a 6. They're a tricksy team, and if their gimmick works of their foul appearance, they can ruin your plan and then dominate you. But they're slow to develop. Their rotters have 0 survivability. They're awful.
Also, worth pointing out that I don't believe he's named his players, so I'm personally hoping that he comes rock bottom to inspire some creativity next season.
Yeah. Has he even got himself? Yeah, at least he's given himself a team motto. I'll give him that.
Yeah, well, that's easy. That is not exonerating him in any way, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
All right, let's take a look at Vanilla Killer Kitsch. Great name.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the uniform? Now that is garish.
Yeah, I mean, and I do like garish. That uniform really suits them.
It does. I like it.
Okay, he's definitely named his players. Spinball Wizard. I'm Batman. Puke Gobbler Lardy. Wow, this is brilliant. Oh, I'm already sold on this. He's gone for Fan Factor. I'm guessing he just had an extra 10k and didn't want to keep it in his treasury.
What's he got? He's got the 2 trolls, which is pretty standard. Chainsaw, always a solid choice. Pogoer, best player on the team. It's worth noting that this Goblin team is not the same Goblin roster you can buy if you look at the Tabletop Almanac. It doesn't have Hooligans. It doesn't have the Doom Diver.
That's because that's based on the current edition of Blood Bowl, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was more. This is based on the previous edition.
Yeah.
Balls Sniffler. All right. Well, I mean, this is a brilliant. I hope these guys win this league.
What he has done, which is quite clever, because he's pretty much reliant on the chainsaw and the ball and chain to do work. So he's left himself 2 bribes with which to do that. And he's got 13 players, so he can pick and choose which of his weapons he wants on the pitch. And then say he keeps the chainsaw on, which I'm assuming he will. You can then bribe it to keep it on the pitch. And even if you go twice, like say, scoring your turn 8, he has to bribe to keep it on. He has his turn 8. He's got the double bribe to keep him on the pitch. And then he can go second half. Any remaining players, two secret weapons and 2 trolls. And if he survives fairly well, because he's already got that apple, the Fanatic can do exceptionally good work, especially in the league season he's in here. It can take out things like the Beast, because who cares? It just goes straight through them.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about interference. It'll wreck my thralls.
I mean, it's just going to be dumb luck as to whether or not he gets.
There's a lack of tackle. There's
Yeah.
no one with tackle in this division.
That is a very good point, actually. There isn't anyone who's going to be dealing with any of those stunty dodgers, which lends credence to your statement earlier on that you think the Lizard Men might do all right as well.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at the Green Bay
Yes.
Necro Packers. This is Daniel's team, I believe. He's a new player as well. Although I say that he's new to the league, I don't think he's necessarily new to Blood Bowl. I'm not entirely sure about him, but he's a bit of he's an untested force, shall we say?
Yeah, he's picked a solid lineup.
Again, this is just standard, really, isn't it?
There's 2 schools of thought. You can go with 1 golem. See, I don't like the 2 ghoul starting lineup. I'd prefer to drop the ghoul and have 12 players with the zombies and then foul people to death to get the free zombie. Because once you get the numbers, you don't have many core starting skills, but if you can get weight of numbers and make him start worrying about getting knocked over, he stopped focusing on the werewolves, which are the best player on the team. And the ghouls, you don't really need to start with. 1, you can get him, give him block sure hands. He's a lovely ball carrier, but really you want your werewolves to score in your first 2 or 3 games to get them blocked.
Isn't filling your team up with zombies a bit of a risky tactic in such a short season, though, because you're then going to get early bloat, which you really don't want.
You can just you can just drop the ones you don't want. But if you've got 12 players, 13 players early, it's a two-way switch if you just stamp on their best players, because you don't, even if you get sent off, if you're trading a 40k zombie for my 120k vampire, 110k vampire, you've done a massive team value switch. And if you take off a skilled one, who cares? The value you're gaining on the pitch is much more. Yeah, if he's got 16 players, he's going to have too much team value. But if he gets to 12 or 13, he can sustain casualty. He can be more aggressive with the foul and just rip people apart. Because if that chainsaw goes down, stamping on it with -3 base armor, all you have to do is knock it out. And he's having to burn bribes for something he's not had usage out of.
Fair point. Fair point. Right, well, let's have a look at the last team in Division A. Ratus Rabiosus. So this is Josh's team. He played Skaven last season. He's had some practice. He knows what he's doing. And again, another dodgy team in a league where there's no tackle.
If he can keep alive, he'll do well. But I think he's banking on the fact that he'll survive because there's no dwarf or the lizards. If they get a hold of him, will cause some problems. 4 gutter runners is always strong. 3 reroll starting's good. Apple, good for that survivability. But if you lose 2 storm vermin early, or a storm vermin and a gutter runner, it's hard to recover, especially the vermin.
I mean, beyond the stunty teams, he's got the lowest strength in this league, and really 4 gutter runners. I don't really know much about playing Skaven. Is it standard to take 4 gutter runners?
You can take 3 or 4, yeah.
Seems like a lot. Seems like more than you need, really.
It's if he drops the apple, you can have 2 extra linemen, so you can have a 12-man roster. But it lets him not focus star player points, because what tends to happen early on is you'll get your first guy who scores 2, he gets blocked, you just give him the ball and he just keeps on scoring.
Right.
But then you lead to 1 superstar gutter runner and the rest of them are terrible. And then as soon as that gutter runner falls over, everyone stamps on him, you lose. So having the ability to switch it up, and if you can later on keep them off the pitch and have them as a threat, because if he gets a movement 10, the next thing you get is always sprint, and you can one-turner without having to do anything special.
Okay.
You've got more to get that movement up early, and that'll win. Movement 10 sprint wins you champ.
Well, let's have some predictions then, Graham. I mean, obviously try and be as well, try not to inject your own desires into these, but first place, what do you think?
I'm thinking Necro first.
Yeah, runner-up?
Skaven.
Necro, Skaven. And obviously, each league, first and second, are guaranteed a place in the playoff, and then the best 2 third-place teams. I am inclined to agree with you. I think the Nurgle are gonna make it very difficult for a fair few very passy teams. I think to be honest, I think you're probably in with a chance, Graham, if you can get that. I reckon you're going to come second. I think the Vamps will come second, because I think that you're probably one of the more experienced coaches.
Vampires are just annoying to play at.
Yeah, they can be very annoying to play against.
Yeah.
Shall we take a quick look at the schedule then? So
let's have a look.
We've got Ratus Rabiosus versus Jurassic Junglers. So that's the Skaven versus the Lizards. What do you think?
With Josh is having the experience, I think that would be the big telling factor rather than the team line.
Yeah.
They're both tier 1 teams, but one coach who knows what he's doing has played lots versus one who isn't so sure. Unless the Skaven get chipped early, or if they just can't get the ball and they keep falling over, then I'd say Skaven take that one.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's probably going to be a rout. I'm expecting at least probably 4-0 to the Skaven. But I hope Matt proves me wrong, and I hope he's been practicing a bit.
The thing with the Lizard Man is they're the one of the few teams that can keep pace with gutter runners. Movement 8 on 4 guys. And they've got the stunt to get round. So you build a wall, they just go straight through it.
Yeah, I don't think he knows that though. But well, he does now if he's watching this. So yeah, there you go, Matt. That's what you need to do if you want to win. All right, next up, Green Bay Necro Packers Armato Romanesca. Do you think you can take these guys, Graham?
No.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
Our main reasoning is he can come back to life. So if my vampires do work early, got a 50-50 coming back. He's got claw on 2 players who are fast, so he can chip me. I have no call starting skills, so I don't have the things to counter him. Like normally Necro are quite a hard start team because you don't have a lot of money, you can't get all your positionals. But vampires, unless I've got armor 7 where he's got armor 8, I'm not faster than him. It's a struggle.
Yeah,
but
I think that's
then
fair.
again, if you chip a werewolf early on, and he's having to do everything with one werewolf, he's thinking more defend the werewolf than play the game. Whereas I don't care. Anyone on my team can die. I don't really care because they're all terrible.
True enough, except your vamps.
Oh, they can die as well. I don't mind.
Oh well, fair enough. It's good to know that you care about your squad. So, Vanilla Killer Kitsch, slimy helmets. I mean, you can't really look past the helmets for this, can you? No. Unless the goblins get some early removals with those chainsaws.
Because the really stupid positioning has got to be really careful. Whereas there's a lack of block, so he's going to be struggling to take him down. But you're just going to be throwing 2 and 3 dice blocks everywhere, and stunties die, and die a lot. All you have to do is 1 dice block or 2 dice uphill that ball and chain. Any knockdown instantly knocks it out. That's it out of the game. And there's a player down. And the goblins haven't had a chance to develop to give Mighty Blow up the ball and chain, get any guard or block trolls.
But you can never discount that throw teammate.
Yeah, 1 turn potential.
Yeah, exactly. So Kenny's going to have to think about very long and hard about when he scores.
Yeah.
All right.
But he's got the best counter in the game for that, the 5 disturbing presences.
Yeah.
He's always going to have at least 1 within zone if he deploys.
True that. Right, let's take a look at Division B then.
Right, let's have a look.
So, first up, Mummy's Boys Resurrected. Coach up to no good, which is, as we probably know, Brandon. Brandon is no stranger to playing the Camry. He's played them a lot. They are a difficult team to run, as we all know, but he has got experience doing it. He has also named all his players, so and he's named them quite creatively. My remains, I'm a goner, glad is over with. He's gone to town here, so I appreciate that. But
he's put the effort in.
Yeah, he has, but they are a team that just can't pick up the ball.
It's 50-50 with the rerolls, 75%. So as long as he's doing it with a thrower, he's the kind of team that if he gets a good start, you'll do all right. If he gets unlucky, Tomb Guardian with Decay, what else has he got in his division? Because that's the big question.
Well, yeah, we should probably take a quick step back and have a look at that. So we've got, amazingly, 2 Camry teams in one league. Typical, isn't it, that? You don't see Camry ever, and then all of a sudden 2 of them pop up in one 6-team league. We've got more Lizard Men. We've got Wood Elves, Kislev, and Orcs. So, I mean, we could leave the main discussion about who we think may or may not top it to the end, but I think he'll probably struggle because I feel like he can't outbash the Orcs, really, or the Lizard Men for that matter. Well, maybe the Lizard Men. And he's certainly, he's going to have a tough time against these dodgy teams, I think.
Yeah, the Kislev, or Slan as I lovingly call them, they're a tricksy one, but we'll have to come back to that. But it's a difficult one because he's got to deploy more carefully than he's used to. He's not used to the shenanigans that these teams can bring. He's a very bash-heavy league, and he was used to having 4 Guardians early.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
His normal method of play was get 4 Guardians, do the giant diamond cage, and smash through the middle. Because it works.
Well, it remains to be seen. But shall we break with the order and actually have a look at Boney and the Jets, who are the other Camry team, first? Because I see they've got a different team value, so I'm assuming they've lined up differently. So,
Yeah.
Boney and the Jets, this is Matt Deese Williams' team. Again, I didn't even know he played Blood Bowl until a few days ago, so I've got no idea what his capability is, but he did pick Kemry, so he's either experienced or crazy.
Yeah.
So he's gone for 4 rerolls. One throw roll, one blitz roll. That's quite a brave choice there.
It's good in a way because it lets him, like the first couple of early turnovers, he can just spam that. Because most teams run with is a standard. His 4 lets him be more aggressive, but it's cost him a thrower and a blitzer to do that.
I mean, do you really need 2 throw rolls though?
It's the redundancy for if one gets thrown a rock or just generally stamped on.
Yeah, that's true actually, because then he's got literally no one really who can reliably even try to pick up the ball. And obviously, in blitz rolls, you only block access straight out the box, so that makes it a bit less easy for him to be bashy, I guess you could argue.
He's got a lot of armor 7 in a bashy league. He's got more armor 7 than even the other Kemry. But skeletons, while they're low armor, thick skull and regen, they're tough to take off them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens when these two clash.
Yeah.
So, shall we take a look at Larry? Now, I think this might actually be the best named team in the league. He's got 6 Larrys and 5 little Larrys. Although it'll be very confusing if he gets multiple players in the top rated player list, because then there'll just be many Larrys there. Beyond that, not really much to say about this, is there? Bunch of Sauruses, bunch of Skinks. This is the other way to build your lizard men, isn't it?
Yeah, because this gives you, after your first game, unless you take a casualty, you're guaranteed an apothecary.
Yeah.
No matter the result, you're guaranteed the apothecary. Then gives you the survivability.
And that might come in handy, especially since he's got a bunch of stunties.
Yeah. The 5 skinks also means he's less susceptible to skink chip.
Yeah, that's true.
Agility 4, because everyone else is agility 1. If you lose a couple of them, you have to be so careful that it changes your mindset when you play it.
Yeah, because obviously they're initially cannon fodder until you've only got a couple left.
Yeah.
All right.
So I like the lineup.
Yeah, it's good. And it's nice that he's not playing 16 snotlings again. So, Tim, Tom and the fodder. Pete, again, coming back in with Wood Elves. He had an absolutely atrocious time last season. He got a lot of early losses and spent most of the season with 3 or 4 minimum loners. So I'm surprised that he's come back with these guys again, but evidently he thinks he can avoid that again this season.
See, I like the division he's in could give him an advantage, or absolutely.
Definitely.
Because he's in a bash-heavy league.
He really should be beating those 2 Kemry teams.
I'd put him to beat the Kemry. He can out-Kislev the Kislev. He'll probably struggle against the Orcs because they're natural sure hands access and quick access to. So you got it.
Yeah.
But if it's the same with every elf team, if they survive, they become monsters. If they don't,
and I mean that's a good point actually, because even though last season he had, or at least he felt like he had a bad season, by the end he had the 2 most developed players in the league in the form of his war dancers, I believe. I'm not 100% about that, but I think that's the case. But he's definitely had a whole bunch of players in the top 10. So the ones that had survived the season were absolutely brutal, but it's just that he couldn't compete because he had so many loner linemen every game. So
the other thing, when you're looking at it in the league status as well, is the other teams, with having 4 Vash teams in that league of 6, you're more likely to see them picking up, like the Orcs, the Blitzers will probably go for Mighty Blow or Guard early. For the Tomb Kings, for me, it has to be Guardians with Guard. Strength 3, Strength 5 guards on the line, or stepping back and then insert them where you need them. They're a nightmare to move. And once you've got them as the front of the side of the cage, it's near impossible to move it. You have to put one skeleton in the right place, and then you can't touch the front of your cage. So it could do work in his favour that they're building into anti-bash skills and not taking tackle on it.
Yeah. And it's that tackle that's crucial. There isn't really a great deal of tackle in the entire competition at the moment so far that we've seen, is there?
No, I don't think there's any of the Scum and Dwarf teams.
Exactly, yeah. We've done a job well by discouraging that. So, shall we take a look at Lies and Slander? Kislev, aka Slan.
Yeah. I like it how he's putting in the name. I've got to respect that.
Yeah. I think he's... he's called his bear Fuzzy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's named any of the rest of them. Are those the standard names?
They all come with Russian-esque sounding name.
I don't think he has named them, but at least he called his... Or in fact, is that the standard name for the bear as well? Is that... I don't know. I've never actually played Kislev in this. It looks like he hasn't named his team, and for that reason, boo. However, what do you think to his... what do you think to his lineup?
Well, the thing that people seem to overlook, and I didn't figure this out until I was talking to a fellow this weekend who was one of the highest ranking people in the world, Slam, is everyone slams the blitz. The blitz is what gives you the edge, and he hasn't got any. He's went for the 3 catches, always a solid choice. 4 rerolls is good because you have to burn team rerolls on the leap. It depends, because a lot of people look at the leap, the 3-up leap, the 2-up leap, and think, right, then I'm going to bounce around everything. You fall over, you die. You play yourself as a normal team, play as a normal team, and then when the opportunity to go full leap appears, that's when you deploy it. If you start leaping everything, you'll fall over, you'll get stamped on, and if it's one of your armor 7 guys, he'll fall over.
Yeah.
You've only got 3 of them.
And I think that's the core of the issue with Kislev, and it can all go very wrong very quickly.
Yeah.
They're a bit like vampires in that regard, but probably even less reliable, that leap. I've never been keen on leap as an ability. I don't like relying on it, even in a Wood Elf team.
Yeah, it's the other thing that he suffers with is 0. He's same as my vampires. No core skills. He's got no block, no dodge. All he's got is leap and a bear. A bear with a tail.
Yeah, if you can get block on that bear, then he's got an absolutely quality blitzer right there then, hasn't he?
Agility 1, I'd probably be going first skill always block. Can, otherwise guard or break time.
Right, well, I think we've got one more. Gallons of Grog, Orcs. This is Greg's team. Again, I don't really know what Greg's capabilities are, but he's playing Orcs, so if he's even vaguely competent, it shouldn't be that difficult for him. They're a very strong team, and I think they can. I think we can all agree that they can probably outbash and probably outdodge the Khemri.
Yeah, it depends on when he meets the schedule. Will be big for this. If he plays the Khemri late, you'll struggle, because then if they've done well, they'll guard up the Guardian. But if he plays them early, or the Guardians haven't skilled up, it's all about getting guard on the Guardian. Whereas for the Black Orc, for the Orcs, getting any skill on your Black Orc normally block. I always find that your thrower tends to level, and then your blitzers, and your Black Orcs are roll. He's got the classic roster that I always used to use. I love Orcs. It's the best, most versatile roster, and it's the most versatile team in the entire thing.
Yeah.
I've seen so far.
What, Orcs?
And I believe he played them tabletop for a season or 2, so he knows what he's doing.
Who, Greg?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, if that's the case, then I mean, yeah, we'll move on to predictions now, because that slips us quite nicely in. I don't know about you, but I think this is probably going to be a toss-up between Wood Elves and Orcs as to who tops the league. I can't see. I can't see the Lizard men. Well, I mean, the Lizards are always a difficult one to call, aren't they? I certainly can't see the Khemri having enough time to develop to get good.
Yeah.
I hope they prove me wrong because it's fun having Khemri around, but I can't see that happening. So for me, I'm gonna go with Pete at the top with the Wood Elves because he's good and he's had a season to practice, and I think Greg's probably going to come second because the Orcs are strong out of the box and are only going to get stronger in the next 5 games.
I think it's going to be Orcs at the top because they've got the armor to survive in the bash, so he can develop. His players aren't going to die, so he's not going to lose skills and MVPs to loners. And then I'll give it Wood Elf just because of the shenanigans.
Well, let's have a look what we've got coming up first then. Schedule. So we've got Kislev versus Khemri.
Khemri.
Yep.
I'd go. Ooh, I might go Kislev on that one. Just because of the lack of ability to pick up the ball versus 3 agility, 4 run round and pick it up. If he doesn't secure it early or gets a strange kick and doesn't recover it, the Slan have the speed or have the speed to get around his lines, just circumvent all that strength 5. Doesn't matter how strong you are if you're going to hit one guy a turn.
I mean, if the Khemri can get some early removals, especially on those catches, then all of a sudden his leap becomes extremely unreliable. I think they could probably. I reckon it's probably going to be a draw.
I'm going to stick with. I'm going to go with a 2-1 to the Slan. I think the Slan will get. If the Khemri receive, the Slan will turn them over, score. Khemri don't have enough time to score again. If the Slan receive, or the Khemri receive, Kislev receive, will score, be forced to score early. Khemri then get the ball, do the usual thing of grind down, and then get turned over again. It's that only having one guy who can carry the ball, unless they get a good kick, they don't have the pace to set up the blocks to stop the speed.
Fair point. Yeah, it's quite a convincing argument. Right, well, let's. We've got Orcs and Wood Elves now. That's probably the worst opening game that the Wood Elves could have had, really.
Yeah, Orcs for me.
I think probably, yeah. I can't. That's such a shame because I actually kind of. I mean, I'm probably not supposed to pick favourites, but I would quite like to see the Wood Elves do well because I feel like he got shafted last season. But the thing is, Pete plays them aggressively as well. If he adopts a more passive approach, stands off his opponent, and forces the Orcs to basically just get 1 blitz a turn for the whole time that he's on defence, he might be able to nick a win and escape without any injuries.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, then I reckon it's definitely probably going to be, an Orc win, but probably not by a massive margin.
Yeah, a 2-0 Orc win is a huge win for Orcs. Orcs turn to score 1-2 if they turn you.
Yeah, and then park the bus.
Yeah.
Well, Mummy's Boys Resurrected versus Larry. This one's a bit of a tough one to call, isn't it, really? But those skinks are going to give him a lot of trouble unless he can deal with them.
I think the starting roster of the Lizardmen is generally stronger than the one you get from the Khemri there. The only downside is he doesn't really outstrength the Khemri, and he can't run away. So if Brandon can get his Guardians into the right places and hold the right key part of the pitch and force Sam to use his skinks aggressively, he can then bully the skinks, get players up because he's got 2 guys who will block. Their armor 7 stunty, knock them down, skeleton fouls, chip away, and once your numbers up, that's when they're going to start to see results. But if he can't get in the right position, Sam can control the game. Lizardmen are a nightmare. Because if he positions himself right, he uses one source to push the guy marking 2 off, freeing up the other source to then run off. And at movement 6, better than most of the people in that league, except maybe the Wood Elf.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to call, isn't it, that? I think that might also be a draw.
I'd say a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Right, let's move on to Division C.
Let's have a look.
So we've got halflings, absolutely glorious. High elves, ogres, Bretts, Elven Union, and Chaos. So first of all, let's take a look at those flings.
Woo!
Now,
Everyone
I
loves
think we can
He's
all
always the
admit that
winner.
we would like the halflings to win this league.
Look at the names.
Yeah, and
Look at the
he's
names.
again excellent name in there, which just endears them more to me really. Is it a Maple and Butch Birch? And then he's got all animal names. He's gone for now. Not to toot my own horn, but I've actually got a bit of experience running halflings. He's not gone for the TV 600 setup, so he won't be getting deep root early. He'll be getting a master chef and an apothecary, presumably.
It'll be that and a normally the half master steps 100. It'll be that and a babe.
Sorry, yeah, chef and a babe. There you go. I don't know what I'm talking about, do I?
But what he has, which is interesting. Fan factor 5, he should get fame, if not 2 fame, every game. So he's going to be getting the money to replace those halflings more times than not.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and then if he can start winning, because especially with the hot pot, with fame, if you can stop your opponent, you strip say 2 or 3 rerolls, especially if we haven't looked at the rest of the teams, but if they're running 2 rerolls, he's statistically going to get at least that once per half.
Yeah.
Strip their rerolls off from first fail, brilliant. Turn them over and smack them. But they are hard.
Yeah. He needs to get sneaky git on one of those guys as early as possible and use him to get as many removals as he can. And if he can get block on one of those trees, he's going to be quite formidable.
Guard on him is always a good option.
Yeah, great tackle.
Good option.
Well, not really much else to say about flings, is there? Good luck. I'm sure we'll be seeing some bloodbaths. Right, Elven Bollocks. This is Tom's team. He had a pretty shoddy season last season, and he played Bashy Undead. Now, the first thing that we need to draw attention to is his number 11, Dave Oakley, who he seems to think that this particular character model looks like Dave, and I can't really disagree with him. It does.
Let's have a look. Where are you, number 11? Yeah, it is Dave-esque.
It is Dave-esque, yeah. So I would really like for that particular blitzer to be the highest ranked player in the league. So that
I think it's Murders, but you know,
I think he's named his guys as well, and he's also named one of them Herc Mortis, which was that like melted candle face skeleton that he had last season. So maximum points for that. But let's have a look at his actual setup. So a couple of blitzers, a thrower, some linemen. There's not really much to say, really, is there? He's got the Apo.
He's got the Apo for good survivability, which I like. The good thing about not having a catch, the same thing I was saying before, if you've got a dedicated scorer, they become the focal point of your team. Yes, they become immense.
Yeah, they get all the SPP.
So now we can use that safe thrower to just farm at the start of games, him and a lineman stood back, just throw it to one, hand it, throw it to one, and just level them up. You can get a level in one game.
Yeah. Or pass it to the blitzers and get some blodgers as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And then he's laughing. I mean, these guys were played by Dave Bowden last season, and they were absolutely horrific to play against by halfway through the season. So, if Tom can get sensible with his upgrades and whatnot, he can become quite formidable, I think. Right, shall we have a look at the Morning Munchers? So many stunty teams. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So, I named them.
He has named them, so again, great, good job. Is that Doug's pet snotling there? Is that a reference to my Yeti that was called Doug last season? I hope it is.
I believe it is.
If it's not, it is.
Yeah.
So, not really great deal to say here, is there? He's got 4 ogres. He's got a load of snotlings.
He's gone 3 rerolls, no Apple, but he's basically not caring about the snotlings. If he loses an ogre early, becomes a problem. But is there anything that can really hurt him unless he hurts himself? He's also going with the one cheerleader, one coach route of trying to win the brilliant coach and cheering fans kickoff.
Well, if he comes up against the Halflings, he's not going to win that.
Nope, he's going to get wrecked. But it's a nice effort.
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect both the stunty players for picking teams that are going to get absolutely battered, and I think he is probably going to get slaughtered, but I'm sure he'll be a good sport about it. Right.
The Snotlings, they're annoying to stop. Though 2-up dodges, sidestep so you can just run him down sidelines, and no tackle again. He's going to be difficult to stop. Yeah, you're probably going to kick the hell out of him, but he's got 14 players. The thing here is, how greedy is he with his ogres? Because the ogres, unlike my vamps, lose tackle zones when they go bonehead.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's just a look at the draw, isn't it? Really, whether or not he's going to be effective. If he can not get any bonehead rolls on those ogres for most of the game, he could do some serious damage with that mighty blow. Also, he's gone for a Christmas theme, which is awesome.
Yeah, and his team is red and white.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's take a look at Le French Taunters. Nat Atkins. Those of us who played in the GKBBL will know that Nat is a competent Blood Bowl coach. However, I have never seen him play Brett's before.
Brett's are a good team.
They are a good team. All that fend is very annoying to deal with. The question is that fend going to come in handy though? Because he's not really. Really, it's only the chaos that are going to be wanting to follow up blocks, right?
It means they can't follow up to then give, like, say you get someone with guard, you do a normal block, you can't follow up to get assists later on, or the lock players down. And then with the 6, the key here is, do his 3 blitzers live?
Yeah.
If the team lives and dies on those blitzers, if those blitzers go down early, it's a weird skill setup as well, because he doesn't have access to strength and anyone except wrestling.
Well, his blitzers are really runners, aren't they?
Yeah. They're runners with. He's got good anti-strength as well, because 3 Dauntless. Dauntless is brokenly good.
Would you generally build one of those blitzers as a blitzer and the other one as a runner? Would that be the idea for you?
Yeah, I'd have one sacker, one person who just built around Mighty Blow if he gets it, and the other one as a catcher, dedicated runner.
It'll be interesting to see. You don't see Brett's played too often.
Yeah.
Well,
they're not really. They're a good team, but they depends how they go.
It seems to me like that they're difficult to develop.
Yeah, because your skill acts, you're great at the start. 7 effective blocks, because the 4 wrestle count is the same kind of thing. But your skill access is weird.
Yeah.
You can't bash people. You're not as fast or as agile as Elle. You're quite. It's good because you're a little bit of jack of all trades, which I know Nat like. He likes to have a little bit of versatility, and they do offer that.
Well, I guess we'll see how he handles himself, but he might do well considering a lot of people just don't know how to play against Brett.
Yeah.
Right, Sean's Hawks, Elven Union. Again, Sean is not new to elves. He's played them quite a bit in tabletop, and he's a competent coach. Pretty standard setup.
Yeah. It depends. These, for me, pro elves live and die by the start there. If they develop, because those you've got block, sidestep, they become blodge steppers, nightmare. Catchers don't have dodge. You get dodge and leap on the catcher, good night. You can't stop them.
That Nerves of Steel's wonderful to start off with as well.
Yeah. The question is, can he defend?
I think he can. Like he knows what he's doing.
It's can he survive? He's used to armor 8 elves. The falling over hurts you more with this. Like, as we noticed with the wood elves, armor 7 gets you killed, armor 8 keeps you alive, unless you're my dark elf.
And he's named his players after the roster of one of his favourite American football teams, I think. Is it the Seattle Hawks?
That looks like,
Sorry if I got that wrong, Sean, but I think it's the Seattle Hawks.
Yeah, it looks like the Seahawks. Yeah.
Right, well, not really much else to say about that. Last but not least, or probably least because it's Dave, Chaos.
All right. This
Brexiting
is my
Spines.
forte.
Very difficult team to do well with early. I think you'd agree
He's
with that.
also picked a very, very strange setup.
Yeah? What do you want to pick it apart? What would you have done different?
He's only got two starting warriors, and it's really difficult to because you don't have the core starting skills. He's utilizing the fact that he's got lots of beastmen. Beastmen are human linemen, good tanking. Horns is decent, but it's very situational. The strength of his team comes in the warriors. The warriors are so versatile.
Mm,
5-4-3 now. Access to everything you need access to. You take four of them because they're fairly slow to develop, but with that three agility, they score. That's how you get chaos to work.
mm.
First couple of games, push a gap, give the ball to the warrior. The warrior scores too early,
Then you get Claw
gets
Mighty
himself
Blow on
in.
him, and they ruin everyone's day.
Yeah, or just get him block.
What do his
If you just get
Beastmen
a
have
block
access
on him,
to? General Strength,
um,
Mutation. So
yeah,
that's the same as the Warriors then.
yeah.
Yeah.
The beast is their lack of survivability. Their armor rate, they're all right, especially in this league, but I don't like that only having two. This team's strength is in its base natural strength stat,
Mm.
and he's not used it.
Well, I think yeah, no access to Agi or anything as well. Well, he doesn't really need that, does it? Well,
You
oops,
don't.
I've backed out here. So yeah, let's have a look at some predictions then. Graham, do you want to start us off, first and second?
So I can see. I'm going to go a little bit left field.
Mhm.
But Bretonians first.
Yeah.
I think they can be a bit shenanigan-y, and all the block will help. Because the thing I'm looking at is he's got natural access to things that knock down stunties.
Mm.
And there's two stunties. He's got 4 wrestle, which can wreck the elves' day. And he's got the block and the things that deal with early chaos. And he's got because there's not 4 warriors, he's got the dauntless. And the warriors aren't as fast as. If he commits both warriors to one side, he can outrun him. If he puts one on each side, he just sees dauntless, knock him out of the way. The other one can't get there in time.
Yep. What about your runner-up?
Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm inclined.
Yes.
As much as I'd want to say Halfling Ogre, I'm inclined to agree with you about the Bretts, and I think the runner-up is probably going to be between the High Elves or the Elven Union.
So the Elven Union, because I know Sean is good with elves, I don't know how good the other lad is.
Yeah, and I don't really
Sean
know how
knows
good
that
Tom is with elves,
yeah.
so I guess we'll see, won't we? but
Yeah.
but I can't. Obviously, I mean, we can't see Ogre or Halfling winning. Although I would love it if they did, and because it's such a small season, they could just potato their way to victory a few times and sneak through. But we can't really bank on that, can we? And I can't see Dave's Chaos competing this season. Maybe if he gets some decent, some sort of if he can get a bit of SPP and then come in again next season.
Dave's Chaos do have the advantage of 3 rerolls starting off.
Yeah, true.
So, and he's got 12-man roster, so he can be a little bit dirty if he needs. But it's the lack of core skills and the lack of utilizing the strength.
Well, let's check out the schedule.
Yeah.
So, Elven Bollocks, Brexiting Spines. So that's High Elves versus Chaos.
Oh, I'd go High Elf just because they've got speed and the agility to get a past.
I think he's just going to pass circles around him.
Yeah.
I think either Dave's going to get early like injuries and KOs and whatnot, or it's going to be like 3-0 to the Elves or something.
Yeah, if they can get rid of the High Elves live and die on their thrower, kill the thrower, they suddenly aren't going out and just throw it wherever. Whereas it's the lack of Chaos Warrior thing again. I prefer 2 rerolls, 4 warriors, and you can spread your strength out, hold them up, and then that holding for a turn allows you to bring your slow movement 5 across from the other side and use 1 to cut a corner, 2 go in front, and 1 acts as a linebacker. So even if he tries to go round, you've got a guy free, he then goes and blocks it. Just repeat the process.
Well, Next up, we've got probably the best matchup of round one. We
Yeah.
have ogres versus halflings.
I'm going to go halflings.
Well, traditionally, you would say that ogres were the stronger team, right?
Yeah, because there's the almighty blow.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking 2 treatment, higher strength, no nega trait that's really that bad. Yeah, root's annoying, but if he can lock those ogres down next to him,
And he's got
and
all of his inducements as well.
yeah, he's gonna get rid of the rerolls. So he's got to be careful when he boneheads. And he's the one time he'll be naturally stronger than his opponent, so you can just stunt you through the middle of them and
Yeah.
knock them all out.
I disagree with your assessment, but I want the halflings to win, so I'm just going to agree with you anyway. I think we're probably going to have... I could see that being quite a high-scoring game, actually, so I think maybe 3-2 halflings.
It depends on how... If the ogres behave, then the ogres win it. But if they're so unreliable,
Yeah.
I just see them imploding.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. And last but not least, Le French Taunters versus Sean's Hawks. So that's Bretonians versus Elven Union, aka David Bowie Elves.
I was going to go with Bretonians because of their start and block access. They'll be able to outbash early against armor 7. And they've got the speed to keep up with.
Yeah.
They won't be able to stop them scoring very easily, but it doesn't really matter. If he lets Sean score in, say, turn 3, brilliant, lovely. Got 5 turns to score with movement 7. It's going to happen. And he sits there and kicks the hell out of him. His armor 7 eventually breaks. And shit players. And he only needs to get 1 or 2 up.
Hasn't got a great deal of access to block for a bashy team, though, has he?
No, it's got his strength access is terrible.
Yeah.
But he's not really a bashy team. He's kind of in between.
I don't know. I kind of feel like the Hawks might actually out-dodge him.
Oh, depends how the game's played.
But he's got no dodge, actually, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough one, that is, actually. I think it'll probably be a draw.
I'm going to stick with my Brett prediction, as much as it pains me to see the French Taunters do well. No one likes them. They said my father smelled of elderberries.
Okay, well, I think that's our lot.
Yeah.
Well, cheers for that, Graham, and good luck to everyone at the start of the season. Please make it entertaining because I'm not playing. All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.